spirits. And of course, tonight the focus is rum. We're going to taste 5 different rums from the producer Diplomático. My name is Andreas Grube, and I'll be your host tonight. And I have with me 2 very special guests, which I'm very proud to present to you right now. Please welcome David Palacios Jaramillo and Nelson Hernández, the master blender at Diplomático. Thanks for being here, guys.
Thank you very much, Andreas. It's a pleasure.
So nice to see you. David, you're in Spain, right?
Yes,
right
correct.
Now?
I'm based in Spain. Yeah. And my role is as global communication and PR manager. And Nelson, who is joining us from Venezuela directly.
From Venezuela. Very nice to have you here, all the way from Venezuela. Before we start the tasting, I'm also gonna, if you want to ask us something, you can just write down comments or questions in the live event. And if you want to, you can write them in Swedish and I can translate them. And also, sorry guys, I'm just gonna switch to Swedish because we have gonna announce a competition that we're doing. Så tillbaka till svenska. Vi har en tävling som pågår under sändningen idag där man kan vinna 2 stycken såna här tjusiga romglas. Och det man behöver göra för att vara med och tävla är att man ska skriva i kommentarsfältet, alltså i själva liveprovningen där ni nu tittar. Ska skriva i vilket sammanhang ni skulle vilja dricka den här rommen. Det kan vara på segelbåten, i sommar, på en öde eller vad det nu är för någonting. Och så ska ni också tagga någon som ni vill dricka med. Klart som korvspad, eller hur? Och vi kommer också att presentera 3 stycken vinnare i slutet av sändningen. So guys, are you ready to start tasting?
Sure.
Yes. I'm just going to ask you, David, while we pour the first rum, which is the Diplomático Planas, could you just while we pour our glasses, just give us a brief background of the company, Diplomático?
Yeah, sure, absolutely. Well, we are a family company from Venezuela, but our story goes to early 19th. So basically in 1908, the families of Diplomático start with the very first place where they were cultivating sugarcane for liquor, which was called Hacienda Saruro. But then a very important moment is 1959, where the company was held by Seagram's. The Seagram's group held the company, but local families and entrepreneurs tried, to get control again of the company. And finally, in 2002, this became a reality. 4 local families that shared passion for rum acquired the distillery to Seagram's and create what now we call DUSA. And after that, the story is quite beautiful for Diplomático, since in 2006, we export Diplomático for the very first time. The brand was created some years before in 1989, but it was just for local market. And in 2006, we decided to move forward to international market. And today, we are a very great spirit awarded for the industry, and we are present in more than 95 markets, which makes us very proud about a very nice product that is enjoying all around the world.
Yeah, you moved pretty fast indeed. So yeah, thanks for that background. And now let's get into the good stuff, should we? I mean, we're starting off with the Planas, as I said, and this is it's quite an interesting product. This is a white rum, as we all can see, but it is actually aged in oak for a while. How does that work? Could you say it, Nelson?
Okay. Hello for everyone. Sorry, my English.
It's good.
Okay. The Diplomático Planas is a premium aged white rum. Normally, in the market, the white rum is not aged. When you age the rum, the final color is a gold.
Yes, like the other ones that we're going to test.
Yes, and we filtrate with across the charcoal filtration in order to remove the color. Take a solids, micro solids, that the color the rum is in the barrel, and remove the color. Some notes of the flavor and taste is removed also, but the most quantity is maintained in this process because our rum is very powerful in flavor and taste. For the environment condition, weather condition, and the aging process in Venezuela, our rum are very, very powerful. And Diplomático Planas is 47 ABV.
Okay, 47. Yeah. But can I ask you, for how long is it matured before you cold filter it? For how long is it?
Yes, it's good question. The Diplomático Planas is a blend of rums. We have in our distillery 3 different distillation methods, unique, like this in this here. This is the continuous distillation and discontinuous distillation. 3 different distillation equipment and produce 3 different distillated. And then we put separately into the barrel and start the aging. For example, the Barber column, this is a continuous, the age time in Venezuela for low and for DOC, the minimum time into the barrel is 2 years. The minimum.
Okay.
We aged the Barber column 4 years, and the batch kettle 6 years, and the pot still for this rum 6 years also. And
okay, so it's quite a long time. Yeah, quite a long time.
Yeah.
But yes, and if we move, just have a sip of it, you can actually feel sort of the matured notes in it. But I mean, still, it's a very refreshing rum. But you can sense sort of the wooden spice and all that in it.
Yes, if you close your eyes and smell the planas, the people never imagine that it's a white rum because it's an aged rum, but this is a premium.
I also feel that in sort of the mouth feel because it's like very sort of fatty or oily sort of on the mouth as well.
It's oily, it's refreshing. You feel when you put the rum in your tongue, you feel over your tongue like peppermint.
Yes,
it's very
refreshing. Peppermint. It is.
And you feel it. You feel some citric notes, coffee.
Yeah.
Some caramel, some vanilla notes. It's a very balanced rum. It's very smooth.
Very smooth and also very citrusy. I feel like orange peel and stuff like that on it on the palate. David. David, you mentioned before we had a little testing here a very interesting food pairing with this one. Can you just?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, as you can see, we have a really special rum over here, and well, basically, we suggest first of all to enjoy it in cocktails like a daiquiri, for example, or a mojito. But yeah, probably if you use this for a daiquiri, you will have your best daiquiri ever. And also, we love to pair this white rum with, for example, a refreshing ceviche. You know, the seafood, the ceviche.
Yeah.
That's a perfect match, with planas. So if you want to have a really nice evening, you can have a perfect daiquiri with a really nice ceviche, and you will find all these freshness flavors and all the nuances of this amazing and premium white rum.
Yeah. Nice. We're moving on to the second one in that we're going to taste, and this is of course the Diplomático Mantuano, and here we have a rum that is aged but not filtered. So here we have this beautiful sort of brownish golden color. And I know that all this is also a combination of distilling methods when doing the Mantuano, right?
Yes.
And why do you do that? How does that affect the flavor profile? Why do several? Why don't just do one production method, distilling method?
Yes, each distillation method create a different distillate with different profile, and when you put it to the barrel and is in the aging process, the evolution is amazing. When you combine the three different methods according with the proportion, for example, Mantuano, the 40% is pot still,
yeah,
8 years, and another 60% is batch kettle and barbet column. The pot still is a strong distillate. When you put into the barrel, the evolution is amazing. It's a very powerful, very aromatic, very creamy. It's amazing distillate the evolution into the barrel. For this reason, for us, the effect of the pot still in the final run is very, very important.
What is the average age of the rum in this bottle?
Yes, the pot still is 8 years, the barbet is 4 years, and the batch kettle is 6 years.
David, could you, if you take us through the sort of the tasting notes in this one? What do we find in the glass here when it comes to on the nose and on the palate?
Well, as you can see in this rum, you can really feel the aging process at the end. So you will feel not just in the color, which is very basic, of course, but we really can still noting the special blend with a little bit in nose, the dried fruits, oaks, and delicate spiciness. And I think in palate, in your mouth, it's complex and well balanced, but you can also feel these notes of dried fruits, wood, clearly, and a little bit of vanilla.
Yes, indeed. A little bit of sort of a roasted coconut.
There you go. You can feel more, the wood and how the wood was, getting into the liquid, and all these different nuances getting into there. And it's a really great rum for mixing.
Yeah.
And actually, one of our proposals is to serve with very refreshing cocktails, like, for example, a rum mule. It could fit very, very well with a rum mule. And it's also good if you want to have a special pairing with maybe a luxurious selection of dried fruits, or with charcuterie, with very good jam. And that will be like the perfect pairing when you're having your rum mule with dried fruits or charcuterie.
Sounds lovely. What do you say about how do you prefer to serve a rum like this? Should you serve it room temperature? Or should you serve it on ice, or do you do whatever you want, basically? Or what is the best way according to you?
Well, I believe everyone should drink the rum however they like and they love. There are no specific rules, but we really suggest Mantuano to be a very, very good and well balanced rum for mixing. So it's a perfect rum where you can have it with, for example, a ginger ale or ginger beer, ice, and a zest of lemon. And with that, you will find, a perfect long drink for Mantuano. So it's great for cocktails, easy cocktails, and quick and refreshing cocktails.
Nice. As you said, these are produced in Venezuela. Could you explain what is it that is unique with Venezuela when it comes to rum flavors? How can you identify in these rums that they actually are from Venezuela?
Yes, in Venezuela we have a very unique weather condition. We have a continuous temperature all the year. In around our plant in the night, reduce the temperature to 22 to 22 Celsius degrees, and the high humidity, stable winds. And for the aging process is very, very important. Our aging process is very accelerated. 1 year in Venezuela, the evolution into the barrel is almost 3 years in a country like Sweden, for example. And the evolution, that condition allowed our rum are a complex, a balance, and the evolution is very high in comparison with another rums. It's important to know that the rum is produced over 40 countries around the world with different laws. But in Venezuela, for law, remember, it's minimum 2 years into the barrel. That condition create the spectacular evolution to the rum into the barrel. For that reason, the Venezuelan rum are a very balanced, very complex, sweet, some sweet. The people in Venezuela like a sweetened taste. This is a characteristic general in our rum in Venezuela.
I would say there is. I mean, it's a sort of a. It's a combination of the richness and the smoothness. I mean, you can find that in rums, some rums in general. But would you say that is a typical Venezuela trademark as well?
That characteristic, because normally the barrel that we use in Venezuela is barrel American white oak, ex-bourbon, normally.
Yes.
Yes. And the American white oak, there are a specific characteristic that the wood transfer to the distillate into the aging process.
Yeah, especially with the heat and the sun and all. I mean, it gives it enhances the process. We're gonna move on to the third rum, but I have a question. Maybe you can take that one, David. It's Daniel who's asking, which one of your rums is the best-selling one?
Well, that's actually a very easy question, and probably we're moving to the next rum, which is Reserva Exclusiva. There you go.
We are actually. It was a nice coincidence. Yeah. We're moving to the Diplomático Reserva Exclusiva.
That's our iconic rum and the flagship of our brand. And basically, this rum is the one that has conquered, the hearts of our consumers all around the world. We believe it's a very, very special rum, very well balanced. But I don't want to talk about this, so I think we could start tasting it and understand why is this so special and why everyone fall in love with Mantuano, with Reserva Exclusiva, sorry.
Yeah, exactly. And this one, I know that it's made from sugarcane honey. Could you just explain what is that? I mean, and apart from molasses in general, what is sugarcane honey?
Yes, the sugarcane. This is a sample of the plant of the sugarcane. This sugarcane. All the sugarcane harvest in Venezuela is sent to the sugar factories. In that sugar factory, they transform this plant in 3 principal products: sugarcane honey, molasses, and sugar. What is this? This plant, the content is 75% is water, 50% is sugar, and 10% is fiber. You press and obtain juice, and that juice you put the heat and evaporated the water. And the first stage where you take the first extraction of the sugar, the liquid from the top and the equipment is the honey, is the sugarcane honey. That sugarcane honey is sent to another equipment, and there are a second sugar extraction, and from the top of the liquid is a molasses. It's a different stage in the sugar extraction process. The difference is the molasses the sugar content is between 45% to 55%. And the honey from sugar cane, the sugar content is between 55% to 65%. The principal difference is the sugar content.
Oh, okay, that's the main part. I know also with this rum, I know that they're made in smaller copper stills, and I also know that you use they're aged in quite small barrels, right?
Yes, the barrel is at 200 liter. 200.
And how does that affect the smaller copper stills and the small barrels? How does that affect the flavor profile in the rum?
Okay, for example, our copper still is like this. Is a pot still, double return. Is like this. It's a pot still double return, 100%. Copper. Why is copper? Small because the capacity of the pot is the 6,500 liter of the capacity in the pot, and the copper is a material with high exchange transfer and allow the good separation in the root to the condenser, and is very affect the geometric and the material when you distillate in equipment like this. It's very important. The final distillate, this pot still, there are a unique geometry, the root, the vapor. Normally, in the other pot still in the Caribbean island, they connect the swing neck with the return is from the top. But our connection is from the low, and it's less reflux and more flavor in our final distillate. And when you put into the barrel, a small barrel, 200 liter, the relation, the contact between distillate and the wood is excellent relation. Of course, when you increase that relation and you reduce the size of the barrel, the contact is more. But the 200 liter is an excellent balance in the space into the warehouse, the contact between woods and the distillate, evaporation
it's just
losses.
Perfect, it's perfect measure.
It's an excellent balance.
It gives a great concentration to it, I would say, really. David, could you, how to enjoy a rum like this? When it comes to like pairings, should you bring out some chocolate or what would you choose for this one?
Exactly. Well, first of all, we really think that Diplomático Reserva Exclusiva is the superb sipping rum. So we really believe this is a perfect rum to drink neat, or maybe in the rocks. And clearly, as you were saying, the balances of this rum make it perfectly for pairing with a dark chocolate, probably above 70% of cocoa, and also maybe with a little bit of orange around. So it's a very specific pairing in this case. But clearly, all those that are trying Reserva Exclusiva, they could really understand that this is the perfect sipping rum. A super premium rum, very smooth, with a complex but well-balanced notes of wood, vanilla, and the long-lasting finish is really, really powerful. So we really encourage to drink it neat with a little bit of chocolate and grab of an orange.
Lovely. We have a question here from Inger. She asks, the glasses you are using, which is these ones, why are those especially good for tasting rum? I guess she means apart from like a tumbler glass or whatever. Why should you use a glass like this? David, you can take that one.
Yeah, sure. Well, basically, when we're talking about the spirits, we use these tasting glasses because when we have this tighter part, of the glass, this helps to keep all the different, the different nuances. If you have a wider part of the glass, all these smells will follow up and will get out really, really easily. So this helps, to concentrate all the different details when you're smelling the rum. Obviously, when you have a clear glass, you can see the kind of alcohol quite similar to the wine, but you will see
what we call legs. When you
like
that, you can see how it runs through the side of the glass.
Yes, exactly. And of course, the color. It's nice to see, transparent glass and see the color. So it's the perfect way when you can keep all the different nuances of the distillate, in this case the rum, and of course it's the perfect size where you can have different tastings at the moment. So it's very
small clips.
Yeah, exactly. Just to keep tasting it.
Yes. Guys, we're moving on to the fourth rum, and now we're also into something quite interesting and unique. This is the Diplomático Selección de Familia, and which is sort of a tell me the story about this, because this is sort of which you're going to notice when we put it in the glass and taste it, that it's sort of a drier kind of. Tell me, how do you do that?
Nelson.
Okay. Diplomático Selección de Familia is a premium super rum. In this rum, we make some change in the process. For example, in this rum, we incorporate distillate age into the cherry cask barrel. The Planas, Mantuano, and Reserva Exclusiva is only a bourbon barrel, and the malt whiskey, rum, ex-bourbon, then rum, new barrel, then rum, and combine the different distillate. In Selección de Familia, we put into the barrel that we use in the single vintage and ambassador.
The single vintage, we're going to taste that later. Yeah.
Yes, and that barrel, after the 8 year, 12 year, we dump it a small quantity and combine. And for this, you feel in this rum some note of the Jerez. The ABV is 43 ABV. This rum is a very complex. It's very elegant. It's it's less sweet in comparison with the Reserva Exclusiva. It's more drier. It's a very balanced. It's very complex. It's silky. It's very comfortable. It's very rounded in your mouth, in your nose. You feel honey, banana.
Yeah, but also some spiciness here. I was like, I've used this one to create like rum twists of classic cocktails like Old Fashioned and Manhattan and stuff like that. I've used this one for that a couple of times, and it worked out really, really well, I have to say. It's also good to drink on its own, but I think it's perfect if you don't want to have Scotch in your Old Fashioned. This is a great one to use.
Absolutely. One of the things about Selección de Familia and Reserva Exclusiva is that they are perfect sipping rums, but also we have a great versatility with these rums. So as you said, Andreas, these rums are perfect for classic cocktails like an old rum or a Manhattan, for example. We encourage always to drink it neat, but clearly the versatility helps us to work with classic cocktails, and they are very, very interesting as well.
Yeah, but also the combination of the sort of the roundness and the richness and sort of the peppery spiciness that's in it, and the dry finish. It's a really interesting combination of flavors.
Yeah, absolutely. And actually, this rum was made, for those that are a bit more knowledgeable about rum. There are some countries in Europe, basically, where we have a more mature consumer that are looking for a more complex rums, and they are very fans of Reserva Exclusiva. So we're giving a new expression to give a bit more of knowledge, and where you can go even deeper, with all the balances and aromas. And at the end, it's a very, very special selection by the family itself. And that's what makes it so even more special for us.
Yeah. And if you should pair it to something, if you want to have something like something to eat or whatever, what would be the difference between the Reserva Exclusiva and the Familia de Selección de la Familia?
Yes, we can find a very good pairing, for example, with mature cheese or even meat stew, to enhance those aromas and flavors that are present in the rum, Mm-hmm. And this makes a very, very nice balance, with all the different nuances that we're giving and all the complexity. So mature cheese will give a really nice balance when you're having these kind of pairings.
Interesting. I have to try that. I haven't tried that yet. And when did you actually launch this one? I mean, how long has it been on the market?
No, it's quite recent. We are launching it in different countries in Europe. And basically the first country where we launched it was in France last year, by the end of the year. And this year we are introducing this new product in countries like UK, Sweden, Norway. And well, the plan is to get into the rest of countries of Europe during all this year. But this is our newest product, and we are quite happy with the response of the consumers so far.
I also, before we move on to the next one, now when I had it in the glass for a few minutes, I also get a sort of a very floral note on the nose. It's very. Do you agree?
Yeah, absolutely. Also, you can feel red fruits, maybe, like.
Definitely, fresh red fruit.
Freshness, absolutely.
Yeah. We're going to move on to the last one, and this is something extra. This is the Diplomático Single Vintage 2005, and this is, we poured it in our glasses, and what we can explain. Of course, a single vintage means that it's just is made in one single year. But how often do you do that? Do you do a single vintage every year? Nelson?
No, not necessarily, because the single vintage is a special selection of the whole our inventory from pot still, double return, 12 years. We select specific loads with a specific aromatic profile. When we don't find that aromatic profile, don't release. For example, 2003, don't release because we don't find that specific selection. For example, the quantity of the bottle every a year that we produce is 50,000 or 60,000 bottles a year for all the world when it's released, of course. And it is a special selection with a specific aromatic profile. Then we dump it and put into the cherry Jerez Oloroso for 1 year additional for aging. You have 12 years before and 1 year for finish into the cherry Oloroso Jerez.
But I mean, this one is obviously is from 2005. But I mean, when do you put it in? When do you put it in bottle? When do you transfer it from the barrels into the bottle? Nelson.
Can you repeat, please?
Yeah. But since, I mean, how long do you keep it on barrel before you put it on bottle? I mean, when is the bottle release? For the 2005. How long have you kept it in barrel before you release it?
No, it's 12 year first.
12 years, yeah.
Then 1 year additional, totally 13 years.
Okay. Good. But I mean, can you explain, because we have to tell you, I mean, all of these have had quite some age, but this is even more. But can you explain what happens for people maybe who are not that familiar with rum? What happens with rum when you age it? What kind of notes do you get from this? I mean, these 13 years in this example.
Yes, in the aging process, it's a very complex process because you have different factors that there are a lot of influence into the final rum. For example, the barrel, there are around the 50% of the influence. What is the distillate, characteristics of the distillate in order to the congeners, the weather condition, temperature, relative humidity, the aging method, static or solera time.
Oh, it's a solera, okay.
Yes, hold that condition, there are a lot of influence in the final result, because into the barrel there are a reaction, the extraction, the compound from the woods, interchange between distillate and woods, and when the oxygen is into the barrel, when the barrel is contract in the neck, and the oxidation create the evolution, the distillate into the barrel. It's a very, and depend of what type of the wood you use.
But when it comes to flavor, sorry Nelson, but when it comes to flavor, what happens with the rum? Do you, I mean, you get more nuttiness, you get even more dried fruit, you get more spice, or what happens with the flavors when it ages?
Yes, because when you charring the barrel inside with fire, some component of the wood change, and they are create dry fruit, chocolate, coconut, spices, around the 20 flavor and taste that during the aging process interchange between distillate and the wood. When you smell, for example, dry fruit, the American white oak put the dry fruit, coconut, vanilla, chocolate, toffee, caramelo, clove, pepper. Yes, amazing. It's a quantity.
Yeah. All that is in here.
Yes, and the distillate. When you smell clear distillate from the distillate equipment, you smell and you feel note on the tropical fruit, for example, creamy, floral, herbal. It's a lot of the combination, and for this reason, the evolution in Venezuela, in our particular case, the evolution is very dynamic for our weather condition.
Yeah,
they are brief whole the year.
I can imagine. I mean, this is very, indeed, very complex. It's a lot of things going on, but it's also very well balanced, and the aftertaste is just it lasts forever. But David, I mean, when it comes to pairings with this one, what would you go for? Would you just do you even need to pair it? Would it go with a cigar, or would that destroy it? What do you say?
Well, actually, we believe this is a very amazing rum. Of course, we suggest to drink it neat or on the rocks. Clearly, this is not a liquid for cocktails. It's just, to really enjoy the different flavors. of 12 years of aging plus 1 year of finishing. So really, you can feel these different nuances over here. And I think you know what you're talking about, Andreas, because we believe this rum, as part of our prestige range, is perfect, for pairing with a great cigar. Yeah. There you can find the different notes of both worlds together, and it's a very, very spectacular feeling because you really, really can note the silky texture around the mouth when you're pairing these two products. So for a day like today or for a Friday evening, having a single vintage glass with a really good cigar, I think is a perfect plan for everyone. Even for those who don't like that much cigars, you can find really interesting the different
smooth cigars.
Taste with pairing with these two products for sure.
And tomorrow it's Friday. I'm going to try that even tomorrow. We have a question here from Peter who asks, at what temperature do you have during storage?
Nelson. Yes, in our storage, we have, during the day, the average temperature is around 32 Celsius degree in the day, whole the year. Remember, in Venezuela, we have only two seasons, summer season and rainy season. But during the rainy season, the temperature is high also. Mm-hmm. Our warehouses, our distillery is very close to the start the Andes mountain. In the night, the temperature reduced up to 24 Celsius degree. You have around the 8 Celsius degree the difference.
Okay.
It's very, very important.
I get it. Let's see here. We have, from Richard who asks, Nelson, for how long have you worked at Diplomático?
35 years.
35 years. And for how long have you been master blender?
My birthday 35 is the next month. It's 17 March.
Okay.
Cheers for that, and for many.
Cheers. cheers for that, Nelson. We have a question also from Lena who asks, do you think you should give the rum some air? We think both taste and aroma change after being in the glass for a while. Interesting question.
It is. Nelson, do you think do you need or it change when you give a little bit of air, when you wait, when you pour the rum, just like in the wine, when you wait just a little bit so the air goes into the rum and maybe it helps a little bit? What do you think? I believe it's not that equal from wine. It doesn't have the same effect on it. So, I think.
But something happens. I think something happens. I mean, if you have it in the glass for a while, it sort of opens up. I mean, it's not like wine that sometimes needs air, but it changes the profile in some way. It's interesting.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And we have Dan who's asking, for how long can you age rum? Forever? ? What do you say?
What is it? How long is the maximum age?
Yeah. Could you age rum for like forever, for 100 years?
In our case, or in general?
The question was in general, but you can answer in your case.
Yes, in our case, for us, 12 year, 14 year is okay, but in our case, our annual share is average 7-8% every year. Average.
Okay. I think he actually meant when I've bought a bottle like this, how long can I keep the bottle before it goes bad?
With the bottle, you have more time for sure.
Yeah.
But what Nelson was saying is that we have a lot of angel share because of the conditions in Venezuela. So basically, if you're aging for 14 or 12 years, the rum, we're losing a lot of rum, more than the 60%.
Yes, around the 60. For example, when we dumping 12 years, we lose around the 60% of the original liquid that you put into the barrel.
Okay.
He said, yes, but the final quantity, around the 40%, is very strong, very powerful in flavor and taste. Is that the quality? Is very, for the reason it's difficult in the tropical environment that you say, no, my rum has 35 years.
Yeah. It doesn't matter. I should also explain for those of you who don't know that angel's share is when the part of the rum that evaporates due to of course heat and all that. So it gives also a lot of concentration. Let's take one more question before we have to leave, and this is from Freddie, who asks, which temperature do you prefer when drinking your rum? Personally, that is. What temperature do you prefer to drink it in? You can start with you, Nelson.
Yes, in our case, it's the temperature when we prepare the rum and taste. The temperature is around the 28 Celsius degrees when you taste. But when you drink and you put the ice, the temperature reduces. But for me personally,
for you, yeah, personally,
it's 28 Celsius degree around.
Okay, then we have to heat it in Sweden because it's much colder here. And you, David, what do you prefer? It depends on what kind of rum it is, I guess.
Yes, and I mean it also depends a lot in your mood as well. Yeah. And it depends also. It could be depending also in the room temperature where you are. So it has also some similarities to the wine and how do you prefer to taste the wine and the temperature. But at the end, I really believe that rum is a very free spirit and you should taste it and you should drink it and enjoy it however you want. I sometimes prefer in the rocks, almost all the rums I drink. I love the coldness, but sometimes when you're just drinking it neat, with these rums, you really feel the smoothness, even if the temperature is a bit higher than when you're drinking it with ice. So we're very happy and proud to have so balanced and versatile rums that you can taste it and you can enjoy it in very different ways.
Yeah, that's good. I'm going to move to Swedish just briefly to announce the winners in this competition and before we so don't leave because nu är vi tillbaka på svenska här igen. Nu ska vi den här tävlingen som jag annonserade tidigare. Nu har jag 3 stycken värdiga och glada vinnare hoppas jag. Och det är nämligen Daniel Olsson, Anneli Hagen och Anna Nilsson. Alla ni kommer få bli meddelade från Lina som sitter här och håller koll på det här som har gett mig lappen. Tack för att ni tävlat. Nelson and David, thank you so much for taking the time and being with us today. And to all of you who's been watching, thank you so much for being with us, and thank you for all the questions and comments. Follow, if you want to know more, follow winetable.se on Instagram, and Diplomático Rum is your Instagram account, isn't it? Yeah.
Okay.
And also, if you want to, please follow Winetable on YouTube, where this video will be will stay on from now for those. Yeah. So. Thanks again, guys. Nelson, David, was a pleasure. Thank you. And have a great evening. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Cheers.
Yeah.